Hello everyone, today I'm going to make 5 cards with the new July Love from Lizi card kit called Summer Botanical. I'm going to start off with this card using the nesting die here from Hunky Dory Crafts. I'm going to cut out that sentiment from the first page and then I'm going to back it with foam tape. You'll see that the foam tape isn't quite the right width to get all the way to the edge without trying to cut it into a thin piece, but I'm going to fix that shortly before I add it to the card front. So there's my lovely sentiment. I'm using a craft card base. I thought the craft goes nicely with the vintage feel of the paper and it helps showcase some of the bright beautiful colours throughout the papers. So the front layer is going to be this pretty butterfly with some of those brown tones to match back with the card base. I'm then using the widest strips in the Love from Lizi. It's like a deep cherry red mirror peel off, and I'm going to place that just inside that first layer of paper to help bring out the colours of the embellishments I'm going to use with my sentiment. Last piece off on, I should say, trimming off that last little piece, keeping all those for other projects down the track. So here I'm peeling off the paper and then I'm going to bring in a thin narrow strip of foam and add that to that edge there. I just don't want any sagging when it's posted. You'll see that I also went over the sentiment with a thin coating of glossy accents to make that shine and stand up from the page. I'm adding on 3 butterflies to cover up the edges of the die cut where you can see little petals just poking through there. Now the butterflies, I did go ahead and use some sparkle pen on those to give them a little bit of sparkle, and I'm placing this sideways butterfly so it looks like it's landing on the T of that forget. I'm bringing in some of the red sequins and just tucking them in underneath the die cut sentiment. I'm then going to add some faux brads to the top of my die cut panel. Just felt like it needed something else on the card there, and those colours, it's a deep pinky red and it just really matches in really pretty. I'm taking my glossy accents and I just want to highlight the bodies of the butterflies to bring in a little bit more of that glossy finish to the card. And there it is, my first card finished. I really like how the crimsony red contrasts with the blue of the background paper. For card number 2, I'm taking the add-on washi tape set and I'm going to lay 3 pieces of tape onto this piece of white cardstock. I'm then going to cut it so that I have a piece of card that's 3 strips wide of washi tape. I'm going to use that as a pattern paper to put my die cut sentiment. You'll see in a moment that I've taken the leftover piece of that first patterned paper and I have fussy cut around the flowers and then added foam tape under that and attached it to my white card base, which has then got the spotty background paper as its first layer. So I'm going to glue on that strip of washi tape paper and tuck it underneath those flowers that have been cut out. Then going to glue on my sentiment. Now this sentiment is a series of dies that came with a Spellbinders small die of the month kit a year or 2 ago, and I get a lot of use out of those dies. They're just very helpful. So I'm spacing out where I'm putting my sentiments because I want to come in and add some further embellishment. So I'm bringing in the add-on chipboard. Well, it's not really chipboard, but sticker sheet there. Now I originally was thinking of using the wood grained looking hearts, but I didn't think they stood out enough from the paper. So I'm going to add 2 here, and when I finish making the card I decide I need a third one and I put that up the top corner. I'm taking some Nouveau drops, and this one is the one that is clear with glitter through it, so that when it dries you'll have some little sparkle inside of there. Now I would say don't put the Nouveau drops onto the sticker sheets too thickly, because I found that they did curl and I had to come back and use liquid glue to glue my hearts back down in place. I'm then just carefully going around, making sure I've covered all the surface of those hearts, and I wanted to have some continuity in that finish, so I'm adding 3 larger drops to the flower paper there. And you can see there I've added the heart to the top, and then I've come in and carried over some of the gold with some more peel-offs from Lizi, and I've also used a glitter pen to go over the flowers there. And there I'm just pointing out how the drops look when they're dry. And that was my card number 2. For card number 3, I'm using another one of the washi tapes from the add-ons, and it's the one with these pretty patterned butterflies. I'm offsetting the butterflies so they don't line up underneath each other. I just felt that looked more organic, more pleasing to the eye. So I then making it so it's 4 strips wide, and then I'm going to trim that off and tuck those underneath. This is going to be one of the pattern papers I use for the card. So I've taken a piece of black paper and I've run that through my Spotty Dotty embossing folder from Pink and Main, and I've pulled out some of the teal mirror sway peel-offs there. If I'd had the straight peel-offs in the teal, I would have used those, but I only had the sways. So I've then taken a piece of the Spotty Dotty paper from the paper pack, and it was a scrap, so I'm using that, and it's been lined with the sway peel-offs as well. I've then placed on top my washi tape paper, and then I've taken this cut apart from one of the 12 by 12 sheets and I've popped that on phone tape. I've put on one of the chipboard heart stickers from the add-on pack, and I'm also adding this large circular chipboard piece from the kit as well. I'm then bringing in my glossy accents, and I've just placed that over top of the button to give it that nice glossy finish that buttons often have, and then added some to the stamens of the green flower. Now, because I did my glossy accents, I had to add my glue to my card base so I could then stick the card front to the card base without smearing the glossy accents everywhere. And that's card number 3. Lots of pretty colours in this kit, it's really beautiful. For card number 4, I'm pulling in some scraps of paper from previous cards, and I'm going to make a distressed edge here simply by tearing carefully down the first piece of paper there, and then I will attach it. And I'm just looking at my placement of my other objects. I didn't want to let that pretty pink gingham check go to waste, so I'm going to add that to the card base on that side. Now, once I've glued those down, I've taken from the sticker book, which is an add-on, these pretty reddy pink flowers, and I'm going to use those to make a background for my card. Now, I've taken this cut out from the cut-off sheet, and I'm adding the gold mirror dust peel-offs just to frame up that pretty sentiment piece. Lining those up, getting it nice and even. Once I have those in place, I will then pop it up on foam tape to give it a little dimension and make it stand out from the background that I've created with the stickers. Trim those tiny bits off, and you can see I have those stickers placed so that I don't have any stickers underneath the actual die cut not die cut, but the panel that I'm using. And I will then add my foam tape around the edges and one piece in the middle. I'll then add that to my card front, and my card will be almost finished. That tape can be a bit tricky to get off sometimes. And here we go. So I'm placing that over top of those stickers and over top of my panel where I've done the distress paper. I've just added on 3 gemstones to the bottom of the card to give it a little bit more sparkle as well. And I've added glossy accents over the sentiment. It just helps that stand out. Really pretty papers, and imagery is beautiful as well. For card number 5, I'm taking a craft card again, and I'm going to do it in a landscape orientation. I'm gluing down my first layer here, which is this gorgeous floral background that has butterflies and little birds on it. I've then die cut myself this little square doily shape. It's from Paper Tray ink, and it's 3 separate dies that create this one very pretty die cut. I've used some black foam tape squares there, and I'm placing that onto my card. I'm then taking this pretty bunch of flowers, and I'm going to use foam tape again. This one is slightly thinner. It's about 1 millimeter thick foam squares, and I'm adding that on. I've then die cut out a gold mirror cardstock, this pretty thanks scripty sentiment. I'm going to place that over top of my flowers, but trying not to cover up too many of the flowers. I'm then taking a butterfly ephemera piece, and I'm putting glue down the center and some foam tape on the wings. I just find that helps keep the wings with a little dimension, as well as the glue holding that centerpiece in on the cardstock there. Makes it nice and secure. You just need to hold it for a minute or 2 while the glue sets in place. Then I'm taking my Spectrum Noir glitter pen, and I'm going to go over all the flowers to give it some nice sparkle. It doesn't show up on the camera that well, but in real life it is very sparkly and it is very pretty. It gives another texture and dimension to the card as well. Once I have my glitter pen added there, I'm going to come in and add some glossy accents to give some highlights to the card. I will add the glitter pen to my butterfly first, and once I've got my butterfly sparkly, I bring in the glossy accents and run it down the center of the butterfly and the eye spots on his wings. I'm then adding just little drops to the center of the flowers. I've got these My Favorite Things enamel dots, and I'm going to add 3 of those to the bottom there. Now on camera they look darker than the tealy colour in the paper, but it actually in real life matches perfectly. You'll just see in the photos that I did add another one of those enamel drops to the top right corner of the card too. So here's a final look at the 5 cards I've made with the kit. I do have lots of supplies left because I bought lots of the add-ons, so I will be making some more cards with this kit and should have them up for you to have a look at very soon. Let me know if you have a favourite card from the cards I've made today, and until next time, keep being crafty and have a great day. Bye bye for now.